Hope everyone's having a good morning and a good weekend. So I'm doing sort of a monthly analysis, not on charts, but just on myself, how I feel, the goals I had last month, the goals I have this month in September, and then some of the things I want to fix, and sort of like where my accounts are at. So I'm gonna start with just my accounts, my Apex accounts. I've been showing these, and I don't have the challenge anymore. I cancel it, and instead I'm taking a challenge with Top Step. So I'm not going to talk about how it's going with the challenge until there's something significant to talk about, like I pass it, I blow it, or you know, same thing with the accounts throughout the month. I'm only really going to talk about them at the end of the month, like this. So this is the first one. This is a 50K one, which was in drawdown. So I basically got it out of drawdown. Remember that the fourth and fifth account, these accounts I had taken an accidental trade where one of the days I had traded, I left my stop loss on a winning trade. It didn't remove my stop loss. So when I closed the software, the order was still in, and price came back down, triggered the stop, and then it went, and well, it was in loss. So it was an open trade that I had no idea was on, and because of my risk management rules, it automatically like stopped me from the trade. It stopped me from it closed the position by itself, and unfortunately that was a $241 loss. So if you don't count that $241 loss, this account is $20 in drawdown, and then this account is $140 around in profit. And then I have this account, which I took 2 trades on, 1 loss and 1 win, right? So now I plan on trading in September this account alongside this account, right? Both of these 250K accounts. I'm going to keep this one on the side, but I want to trade, on a trade copy of this account and that account for, not for very like good trades, not mechanical trades, not small scalps. I'd like this to be for really nice trades that I see my model is clear and it's alongside daily bias and I can hold it for a while and get tons of points. So very, very low strike rate, but hopefully it will be quality trades that will be taken on these 2 accounts going to September. But that is sort of where I was at. So now I'll show you kind of like my trading this month on the account 4 and 5, the 25K account, the 50 account, which is really what I just traded. So see how I have, these aren't all the trades. These are like the days I traded. So it's like a report card. Like this one, for example, it took 2 trades. One was a loss, one was a win. And at the end, I just kind of gave the final like profit, the net profit and net commissions, all that, and then I show all the kind of trades that I took inside that day. So basically the winning days where I had 6 winning days and 2 losing days, so 75% winning day, which is pretty good. I'm actually pretty proud of that. Well, it can always be better, and I know that there's still a lot of things I did wrong. This day specifically, I want to talk about the 14th, because this day was this could have been a really bad day, but I'm going to talk about that in my journal. So for the monthly reflection, what are my goals? I will make $3,000 collectively with Apex account 4 and 6 using 5 micros at most. I will have 3 losing days, and I will do 1 gym exercise every morning before trading. Also, I'll add I will be funded with Top Step. So yeah, the last one, I just set up a new gym, and we have a squat cage and a bunch of other stuff now, like basically everything that I need to have like a full body workout, using machines. So there's no excuse for me not to work out first thing in the morning, because it's literally right outside my room, and I'd like to do that before trading to kind of like get blood flowing and stuff, wake up more. Not that I had a problem waking up or anything, I just want to get working out of the way. So anyways, how do I feel? I've been feeling excited. I will start school in October, and I'm heading back to my old job this week. It is always nice to have something that reminds me of what I don't want to do for the rest of my life. The people are fun to talk to, though. I will enjoy that. Throughout the year, I've been inspired to journal extensively through the year. Um, Journaling has really helped me learn more about myself and start to see the fruits of my labor pay off. Uh, I made some mistakes last month, the 13th and 22nd, but I will make sure stuff like this doesn't happen again. So let's take a look at the 13th and the 14th. Alright, so 13th, this was a losing day. And this is a losing day that could have been avoided. So there's some losing days here where, you know, some of these days, like this was some of these losses were um, kind of, yeah, like it sort of was my model, and I lost, some of the losses I took. But Tuesday was one of those days where it was not my model. It was really just something was wrong that I wanted to make money, and it caused me to push it and lose. So first thing I noted in the morning is we are overextended, but I'll remain on the sidelines until I see willingness to go lower. So I was looking for a bearish bias on the daily chart. We're inside a daily fair value gap. I was looking for maybe a retracement on some of these candles just to clean up, because we're in a premium, just to clean them up a little bit, maybe fill in into a new week or new day opening gap. Volume balance lower. And because we were extended, it's just I wasn't really comfortable with longing either, right? But here's what I said. So price expanded aggressively past previous day high and showed no willingness to go lower. I needed to pay attention to that and not trade. I did a bad job managing myself and went in when I shouldn't. There was no willingness to go lower, and it was easy to see that. Times where I am emotional must be spent off the charts. I knew it was two-sided, but something in me just wanted me to take it anyway. I couldn't tell the difference between being afraid being afraid to get in or being two-sided. And this is a big thing I kind of realized, that during this time, I was looking at that trade when it inversed this gap there, and I didn't want to take it, but I wasn't sure. I was hesitating taking it, and I wasn't sure if that's because it didn't really look nice. It felt like I was just trying to get something just to win, just to say that, or just to be able to know that I made money. And it was really like I was trying to force something. I didn't know if it was that, or if it was just two-sided. I wasn't able to tell the difference. And so I said, I'm just take it anyway. And when I took this trade over here, I was even framing my model. I said, this is technically my model, where we came down, grabbed a 5-minute short-term low. There was a 15-minute fair value gap back here, and then there was a nice institutional overflow entry drill with that fair value gap that my cursor's on right there. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking at it go to my stop. I refuse to close anything, even though I clearly am now stating that it is two-sided. I still am in the trade, and it lost, and then I stopped, right? But this could have been avoided, and if maybe actually I should include a 15-minute chart. So if we go back to the 13th, and I'll show you how it was like two-sided. So this was the 15-minute bullish fair value gap that price bounced off of. I was trying to short before, and I didn't wait to see if it broke this. I didn't wait to see if we closed beneath it. I just, it's obvious that it's bullish here. It rejected higher, and I should have waited to see if it was going to reject higher to go long, or if it would have closed beneath. And if I didn't have the limit order on a sell on this wick, maybe I would have seen that it was going to go up, and maybe I would have longed. I don't know, but I should have waited for evidence for clear displacement lower or rejection of highs. Because look at this high, right? We don't reject this high at all. We continue to move through it and displace with speed and distance above it. So you don't want to see a retracement into that range when that happens. You want to see price fail to get to above the highs, right? Like this low failed to get beneath that low. All these wicks here, they failed to displace beneath every time making a new low. They failed to really keep going lower with speed. So this is sort of like why I should have just not done anything. Instead instead of assuming a Judas swing and trying to see a bigger retracement. And if it had worked, if it had went lower, it would have just been luck. So I'm going to just include that. Oh no, I just closed it. Okay. So back on the 13th. And you know, this condition actually kind of fixed it. I'm glad, because even though I got it messed up on where price is going here, if you go forward on, you know, the 29th, the same sort of scenario happened. I don't show the trade, but I show it here. So the same sort of scenario happened. We were overextended. Should really show 15-minute chart. That annoys me that I don't have one. We were overextended and we dropped down into a 15-minute chart. See how overextended we are, just like that 13th day. And instead of, you know, wanting to see lower prices and trying to force something short, I waited to see if we would displace beneath the fair value gap or beneath the lows. We didn't. We rejected. When I saw evidence of it rejected, it was an easy long, and it could have been the exact same thing on that other day. So I'm glad that, you know, at least this is obviously showing that when I got it wrong that first time, doesn't mean that I'm always gonna get it wrong like that. Sometimes I will be seeing it right, and what I want to focus on is seeing it the right way more often. It's encouraging to kind of see that I wouldn't necessarily say I fixed what I was seeing on this day, because this was more emotional. The reason why I was trying to force something in here. So if I didn't let the emotions get in the way, I would have had results like I had on this day, and that's something I need to remember. Or I had no results, because I would have spent the day off the charts. But anyways, then there's the 22nd. I think there was nothing else on the 13th. Yeah, there's a 22nd. All right. And just to emphasize one thing, like, this is the real reason I took these trades, is because of this. Like, if I look, I don't know if I'm afraid, if I'm scared of getting in, and it's doubt and fear, or if it's just two-sided. That's something that if I have doubt and fear, if it's two-sided, whichever one it is, you shouldn't be trading. You should just be tape reading and building the confidence. And so that's what's important. And that's why you need to tape read and spend time with the charts to understand what it's doing, how it's doing it, and to be able to predict it. Or then things like this are going to happen. We're going to doubt. And since I'm not really playing the probability game, I can't afford to just take whatever trade whenever I want, because it's not a mechanical model I have. It's a very discretionary. Well, not really discretionary, because I have a pattern to get in, but the pattern, I'm not going to take it every time it's there. Sometimes I can anticipate it to fail. So anyways, back to this. The 22nd is here. So the 22nd was really bad, because this is a day that I could have blown an account. There was one trade where I said it was all or nothing, basically. And it ended up working, and it was 10 micros, and then it got me, it was like $500 profit, and then I was like $2,000 in drawdown or something. So, and then slowly I started building it back from there. So it was pretty cool, but still very close. Here I said I'm waiting for a movement lower. Previous day high was engaged, and we were still overextended, also filling in the new day opening gap. A move lower, discount could be welcome today. I'm also looking at the daily chart just now, and I realized that really all month, other than the first week, we've just been moving higher. This is terrible price action to trade in, because there's no up and down. Like here on the move down, we have nice retracements, right? But here it's just up, and some days are very choppy, not doing anything. Most of the days that expand are news. So I'm impressed, amazed with how I did this week, and there's nothing, there's some days that I messed up, but other than that, like it's a month that, if there is any month that would have blown my account, probably would have been a month like this, and I'm glad that it didn't blow anything. But and I'm looking forward to the better price action coming soon. Anyways, I said this morning I was distracted with video games, and it caused me to miss a really nice trade that I had anticipated. This happens, and it is nothing to be worried about. I will find trades like this over and over again in the future. So that morning, because of the price action, I kind of told myself I didn't really want to trade. I had my software opened up, and wasn't sure if I wanted to trade. And you see, it's nothing really really obvious, right? There is something here, and when price was running up in this range, I was playing a game and I wasn't really interested in trading. And I looked at it and I said I could sell this. I could go short into this, but ultimately I clicked play on my game, and then I went back to my game, and I kept kind of looking at that price action on my other monitor as it's going lower, and it was only after ICT talked about this very trade, highlighted the exact same things that I saw, the turtle soup, and I remember this day he was laughing hysterically about no algorithm when this happened, and it made me feel like I wanted to be part of it. It made me feel alienated, where I should have been part of this. I knew it was coming, and I should have been part of it, but instead I'm not. And then I remember telling myself that, thinking to myself, I may not have gotten this trade, but as long as I make some money, who cares? Who cares if it's this trade or another trade? I made money, right? And that's not the right way of thinking. See, that's a very probabilistic way of thinking, I suppose, if you're gonna follow your rules. But I missed the mark, and I have to accept that. So I started to try and long in here in this consolidation, and it led to a loss, two or three losses, and then a win. And the win was this run up here above this high. So that low, it was from that low all the way up to that high, and it was very scary. But I wasn't comfortable continuing to go short. My model just wasn't there that day, except for up here. This was my model, and I did not take it, and it's okay. But so here I talk about it. The problem came when I saw SD talk about the very levels I had on my chart, leading to the very short I have shown that I anticipated real time to appear. He was so sarcastic and laughing his ass off about his concepts not working. This made me feel inspired, too inspired to do more. I regretted playing video games, and this led me to make bad decisions. The mental dialogue in my head was, you are good enough to make money today. I was trying to prove myself to myself. I wanted to be part of the trade ICT highlighted so badly that I needed to convince myself that I am better than I am. I needed a win today. The real win would have been a smile and a nod and no buttons pressed. There is no victory as great as when you realize you are in full control of yourself and you don't let any outside force disrupt your decision-making capabilities. I took losses and wins today. Took off the trade copier to minimize risk of blowing all accounts. This is why the 25k account didn't go in as much drawdown as this one, but one account was in profit and two others were not. One previously untouched account took one loss of around $300, while one was in profit, now less than $300 away from break even. The last funded account was the one I was trying to push more on. I was one loss away from losing it and told myself that it was this trade or nothing. This is not good. I was a wreck, and I found out today that I still need to learn to respond appropriately to events like this. I will learn to do better, and I will do better. All it takes is for me to suffer enough bullshit to the point I no longer think it's worth it to do what I did today. I need to remember that if I woke up with every intention to place a trade, being focused on this instead of playing video games, I am confident I would have taken a piece of that short above. Knowing this negates any need to try and get another piece that doesn't belong to me. These things repeat and happen over and over and at the same times, and if I just follow my rules, then that's all that I need to be successful every day. And that's, a recap of that day basically. So I think, let me reread this part. One account was in profit and two others not. One previously untouched account took one loss, around $300. While one was in, that's the 50k account where, this day I started losing a little bit, and I took a trade on the 50k account that was untouched, which I shouldn't have done. and yeah, it cost me $300. And then the next week I took one more trade on it, and then it got me back to the break even. Um, and then the other account was where is it? Um, well, the other one in profit 25k account. The winning trade that I got on the 50k account, 25k account, I had taken it on both. 25k account I had gotten in here, and the 50k account I had gotten in here and held it to the short term high. So it was a small scalp, which is why. So that's basically the. I should have been more specific about which accounts were which. But this day could have went horribly wrong. In fact, I could have blown all my accounts if I would just continue chasing that win. What would have happened if I didn't get a win? I don't know. So yeah, that's and then Friday I had archived this, but I think Friday was pretty stupid. I don't know why I archived this, but Friday was see, I had gotten a win on Friday, but it's not the win I would have wanted. So I believe the trade I took was this one on the 15-second chart, right? This move lower into this rejection block, which was good. It was my model. Everything was there. But the right trade would have been not this move lower. It would have been this one. And so I kind of explained, and I did talk about this in one of my weekly reviews, but I kind of explained why this trade would have been, why I shouldn't have wanted to short. On the 15-second chart, it's easy to see how it was a short, but I guess everything's fine. Like, it's still my pattern in my model, but I was trying to really understand how I could wait and time this entry to capture the bigger move, right? Without having price to go back into a deep drawdown. Really, like, getting in right here. How could I have woke up today and only shorted here and nothing before that? But I mean, maybe I could go through it. I took this trade today. It was not the high of the day, and price came back to create another high of the day, forming the right breaker. Regardless, it was my model. How could I have timed the market to get the right breaker? The first attempt lower was slow and missing excitement. I could have perceived this earlier by giving more attention to the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart made a very sharp breakdown and no body. This prevented close bullish fair value gaps forming in the way of my trade, and price later did make a more meaningful attempt lower. So I don't have the 5-minute chart. Where's the 5-minute chart? So here you can see how price is, rejecting quite rapidly. Wait a minute. I could have perceived this easier by giving more attention to the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart made a very sharp wick down. Oh, okay. I think it's this one. The how fast we made that wick down here and how quickly we went higher. It's almost like an immediate rebalance. So then when we wick up here, we're continuing this bullish momentum. I should have seen, if I had focused more on the 5-minute chart, that we are displacing above this high and the bodies are staying way beneath the high. So it's not really as good as of a manipulation. This still looks like resistance. If you take out the up close candle there and you just look at the down close candle and these up close candles, if you just look at this area, the first move down, it seems like it's still being resisted. How people could be still going short, so why not continue to run it? But then you look at the bodies, we have a down close candle, an attempt lower, and then we get an attempt higher. And I talked about this a lot this week too, about how my model is all about basically we need to see an attempt lower first, a fake attempt lower, like to get people into a trade, and then price come out and stop them out on the shorter time frame while in a higher time frame level of interest for them to then go lower. So like over here we had initial attempt lower, and then we came up right above it, and then we went lower. So we need to see that initial attempt. But over here on this candle, we don't really see that initial attempt. This is more seen as bullish. This doesn't really get people into sells. But over here we have a clear attempt lower where the body closes lower, and then we come right back up above it. So even though you can look at the bodies here, the bodies kind of do that, and then the wicks do it up here, where it goes above and makes a new high. So I'm just basically saying I should look more at the 5-minute chart. Don't drop down to lower time frames for the sake of 5 minutes short-term high being triggered, but make sure the delivery is standing out, inviting shorts and making it obvious for you to go in and look for a short once the early sellers get stopped. Also, notice the difference with how high The first short-term high breach was compared to the second, which didn't mess around and quickly rejected, seeking lower. Alright, and that's all for the analysis of the month, I guess. I will and I'll make sure these goals get hit, and I'll make sure I don't repeat some of the mistakes I did last month again.